Okay, we are recording.
Oh, Charlie. No battery for the microphone.
Okay. It's me.
The first announcement I'm making today is we have an exercise today. Okay. Have you watched the movie The Big Short?
No.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we are going to watch a little bit, just maybe 4 minutes, because the whole length of the movie is about 2 hours. we do not have that much time, so I just use that 4 minutes of the movie, yeah, to show.
What is the movie title? Maybe I can watch it.
Oh,
later.
it is about. Oh, you mean the title?
Yes.
Oh, The Big
It's on
Short.
Netflix
No, it is not on Netflix.
or YouTube, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Or the Big Short.
Yeah, Big Short. Yeah, it is about the financial crisis happened during 2007, 2008.
Yes.
Yeah, because some people say that the mortgage-backed securities played a vital role of just triggering the financial crisis. Yeah. So I would like to use this movie to introduce the mortgage-backed securities and also the credit default swap, CDS.
Okay.
Yeah. So after the movie, I would like for you to just write down maybe about 300 words. Yeah, okay, let's see. It is here. It is in a homework assignment.
Okay.
Yeah, so give a movie review. Yeah, a movie review of 200 words. Yeah, 200 words for The Big Short. And the other thing is that on the first Thursday of May, okay, I invited a professor. Her name is Chen Yipei. Yeah. Professor Chen, yeah, she will come to our class, spend 15 minutes to talk about the research method. So May 6th.
On May 6th, right? Well, I guess May 4th is holiday.
May 4th.
I guess May 4th is always holiday, Workers' Day.
Oh, let's see.
I'm not sure about the school, but usually
Oh,
it's Labor Day, right?
Labor Day is May 1st. May
Yeah.
1st, it happens to be Saturday.
Saturday, oh.
Saturday this year. So, yeah. Actually, during that holiday, our school is not off.
Oh,
We
okay.
still have class.
Class, oh, okay. No problem.
So, how about in your original school? Do you have a day off? during the Labor Day?
In my country, yes.
Oh, in your country?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, high school no, but
High school
those
no.
working, yeah.
Oh.
High school no, maybe university and
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, I bring another set of battery now. Everything. Give back to April if I forget.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Charlie.
What?
Actually, we have an exercise today, and that's about the movie, The Big Short. Have you watched that movie?
No.
Oh, that's related to the 2007-2008 financial global crisis. Okay, and that movie relates to mortgage-backed securities and credit default swap.
I know the idea behind it. Like, I haven't watched the movie, but I know what.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. So for today's exercise, we will go to homework assignment. Okay. Yeah, so I would like for you to give a movie review of 200 words. 200 words of The Big Short.
So we have to go home, watch the movie, and review it.
Oh, no, actually I'm going to play 4 minutes of the movie. Just 4 minutes because the total length of the movie is about 2 hours. We do not have that time. Okay.
We have to do like this actor very handsome. That's actress.
Really? Yeah, actually they are very good looking. So can you do that by tomorrow night?
Yes.
Can you finish that? Okay, good. And then the other announcement I would like to make is that I invite Professor Chen Yipei. Yeah, her major is in corporate finance. I'm sorry. Her research field is in corporate finance. Yeah, and I invite her on May 6th, the first Thursday of May. Yeah, she will like to talk to you about the research method. Okay, and if you have any questions about corporate governance or corporate finance, yeah, I believe that she will be very happy to discuss with you. Okay. Okay. And last time we went through the federal funds. Okay, and we have learned that it is very important because these funds actually they are not collateralized. Okay, so they are considered as unsecured interbank loan. However, it is very important for the banks if they fail to meet the obligation, okay, with the Fed, okay, they might need to borrow the interbank loans from the other bank. Okay, so if the Fed wishes to have a expansionary monetary policy by conducting the open market purchase, actually the commercial banks play an important role, okay, to have the Fed to expand the monetary policy and to increase the monetary base and also the money supply. Okay, so last time we have shown you some factors, okay, that will shift the monetary base. Okay, so now let's spend some time, okay, finishing that. And actually, okay, the announcement I make about the midterm exam question set, okay, actually these factors that will affect the monetary base will be considered as the midterm exam questions. so last time we have shown you the open market purchase or open market sale. Okay, and if the Fed conducts open market purchases, okay, with the commercial bank, then the reserves in the banking sector will increase, and so does the reserves in the Federal Reserves. So the monetary base will increase as well. But if the Fed conducts the open market purchase with a person or an business, okay, it depends upon whether the non-bank public, okay, if he or she receives the check from the Fed and then deposit in the bank, then the bank will find itself with an increase in the reserves, and so does the reserves account of the Federal Reserve. Then in that case, the monetary base will increase. Okay, and if the Fed conduct the open market purchase, okay, with a person, okay, and then after the person receives the check from the Fed, and then the person decides to, first he decides to deposit, okay, into the bank, and then just cashes it for currency. In that case, okay, let's take a look at this. So there is a non-bank public. And the banking system. And the Fed. Okay, so the Fed purchases, say, a bond of $100 from a person, okay, or from a business. Anyway, a person or a business, they are called non-bank public, okay. And then the person first deposit a check of $100 into the bank, and then this person decides to cashes the check for currency. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Okay, so in this case, the non-bank public will find itself with a $100 decline in the bond. Because this person sells, okay, $100 bond to the Fed. And then the Fed find itself of an increase of bond with $100. Okay, so first, the person, okay, just deposit the check of $100 into the bank. Okay, so in that case, it finds himself with a $100 more in the checkable deposit. Okay, and after the person deposits the check into the bank, okay, now the bank has $100 more in the checkable deposit, but the checkable deposit is under the liability. Okay, and with the $100 increase in checkable deposit, okay, the bank has an increase of reserves of $100. And that will also reflect in the Fed's T account. Okay, so now let's assume that, okay, the person who receives the check from the Fed, okay, first he just deposit the check into the bank. Now he would like to cashes the check, okay, for currency. So after she cashes the check, okay, for currency, he or she finds a $100 decline in checkable deposit, okay, and so does the bank. Okay, the bank's deposit, that checkable deposit will decline by $100. And also the reserves declines by $100. Okay, that will also shows on the Fed's reserves. Okay. Okay, but the person just cashes the check for currency. So he or she, okay, finds $100 more in currency. Okay. Also, in the bank's T account, okay, under the liabilities, okay, in addition to reserves, also we have seen currency. And the Fed finds itself with a $100 more in currency. Okay, so in this case, we find that the monetary base, okay, with a summation of currency and reserves. In this case, the reserves is unchanged. However, the currency increases by $100. So the monetary base will increase by $100 as well. Okay, so this is the open market purchases. If the Fed purchases bonds from the person or from a, we just call the non-bank public. Okay. So first, the non-bank public deposit the check into a bank and then cashes it for currency. Okay. So we'll find the non-bank public's assets. Okay. There are some changes. The first, the balance declines by $100. Okay. The checkable deposit initially increases by $100 and then it declines by $100. Okay. And then the person finds itself with a $100 more in currency. Okay. Nothing changes in banking system's T account, but we find that the Fed's T account, okay, there are some changes. The first is this. It finds itself with $100 more in bonds, okay, $100 more in reserves initially, and then a decline of $100 in reserves. After that, we have seen a $100 more in currency. Okay, so this will also drives up the monetary base by $100 because we have seen the currency, okay, increase by $100. Okay, so that's the first factor that will affect the monetary base. Okay, and the second one is the depositor, okay, shifts the deposit shift the deposit into currency. so if the person decides to withdraw the money from the checking account. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. In the beginning, this person will find himself with a decrease in the checkable deposit. Let's say $100 decrease. Okay. This person withdraw. So he or she withdraw $100 from the checkable deposit. Okay. So now she or he has $100 in hand. Okay, that's currency. And to the banking system. Okay. After the person withdraw, the banking system finds itself with a $100 decline in a checkable deposit. And then the reserve declines as well. And to the Fed also finds itself with a $100 decline in reserves. But since there is a $100 more in currency, that will also increase the currency balance for the Fed. So in this case, monetary base, we have found a $100 decline in reserves, but a $100 increase in currency. So monetary base is unchanged. Okay, so that's depositors shift deposit into currency. Okay, that will leave the monetary base unchanged. Okay. The third one is the treasury. We suppose that the treasury has checkable deposit in the commercial bank, but now the treasury just shifts the deposit from the commercial bank to the Fed. Okay, so this will change the T account of banking system and the Fed's T account. Okay, so let's suppose that originally the Treasury has a checkable deposit of $1 million at a bank. Okay, but if the Treasury decides to shift the deposit from the commercial bank to the Fed, now the banking system finds itself with a $1 million decline in the checkable deposit. And also the reserves in the banking system will decline by $1 million. Okay, so as the reserves in banking system declined by $1 million, that will also reflect in the Fed's T account. Okay, but it has another $1 million increase in the checkable deposit. That's from the Treasury. Okay, so in this case, the monetary base will decline by $1 million because reserves declines by $1 million. Okay, so that's the third factor that affects the monetary base. Okay, Treasury shifts deposit from a commercial bank to the Fed. And the fourth factor is this: if the commercial bank does not have enough liquidity, it can just apply for a discount loan from the Fed. So if the bank has the discount loan from the Fed, so now the banking system finds itself with an increase in the reserves, and that will also reflect in the T account of the Fed. Okay, so when a bank has a discount loan from the Fed, so under its liabilities, so actually the bank finds itself with an increased amount in the discount loans. That's say $1 million. With the inflow, the finance inflow, in the bank, the reserves also increased by $1 million. Okay, so the Fed finds itself with $1 million more in reserves. And then under the Fed's assets, the Fed finds itself with $1 million more in discount loans. So in this case, monetary base will increase because there is an increase in reserves by $1 million. Okay, so let's have a review now. When the Fed conducts open market purchase, okay, the monetary base will increase. So inversely, when the Fed conducts open market sales, the monetary base will decline. Okay, when the depositor shifts deposit into currency, okay, actually the reserves declines, however, currency increases. So that leaves the monetary base unchanged. Okay. When the Treasury decides to shift deposit from the commercial bank to the Fed, okay, we will find an increase. We will find a decrease in the reserves. So that will decline the monetary base. Okay. Discount loans. When the banking system has the discount loans, the reserves will increase. So monetary base will increase. Okay. Let's see the fifth factor that affects the monetary base, which is called float. Okay. Float relates to the bank clearing check process. Okay, so suppose that I purchased iPod. Okay, iPod from Charlie. How much is iPod? If that's made in Apple, maybe that's about $5,000. Very expensive. Okay. Okay. Since I purchased that from Charlie, okay, and I write him a check of $5,000. Okay. Okay. And then Charlie gets the check and deposit into the bank. Okay, so after Charlie deposit into the bank, say Charlie's bank is Bank B. And Cindy's bank is Bank A. Okay, so we need the Federal Reserve Bank to do the check clearing process, okay, between Bank A and Bank B. So what will happen to Bank A, Cindy's bank? Okay, Charlie's bank is Bank B. Okay, let me move Bank B here. So after Charlie just deposit a check into Bank B, okay, so Charlie find himself with $5,000 more in the checkable deposit. And in Charlie's bank, the reserves increases, okay, by $5,000. How about Cindy's bank? Okay, because I write the $5,000 check to Charlie. After Charlie deposit the check, actually the Reserve Bank, Federal Reserve Bank, okay, should give a notice to Bank B that Charlie will now have $5,000 more in checkable deposit, whereas in Cindy's bank, there is a subtract of $5,000 from Cindy's checkable deposit account. Okay, and then in Bank A, after there is a $5,000 subtract from Cindy's account, checkable deposit account, Bank A find itself with a $5,000 deduct in reserves. Okay. How about the Fed? Let's see what happens to the Fed's balance sheet. Okay, so under liabilities, okay, first the Fed find the reserves declines by $5,000 from Bank A. Okay, and then Bank B, we have found a $5,000 increase in reserves. Okay, so in this case, the monetary base does not change. Okay, because Bank A has $5,000 deduct, whereas Bank B has $5,000 more. However, we have seen a temporary increase in Bank B, okay, in the reserves in Bank B, and a deduction, okay, of $5,000 in Bank A. Okay, so that's called float. So float leaves the monetary base unchanged. And then the last factor that affects monetary base is called foreign exchange market intervention. Okay, before I go to that, I would like to ask Charlie and Patrick. Okay, so if there is a hard money inflow to your country, how does your central bank react? If there is a hard money inflow.
Harmony.
Yeah, hard money. Yeah, some foreign investors, okay, they would like to invest in your domestic financial market, okay, and then they just, yeah, and the inflow will be a huge amount, okay, there is a huge amount of inflow in your country, okay, that will definitely drive up your domestic currency, okay, so how will your central bank respond? Yeah, because if there is a hard money inflow, okay, these foreign investors will attempt to convert their currency into your domestic currency. That will make your domestic currency to appreciate. And if this country is export oriented, that will definitely will deteriorate your export. Okay, so if that's the case, how will your central bank respond?
for example, they will print more money.
Oh, your country will print more money.
Yes, because there is an inflow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
It's more or less like a production. So if there is an inflow, a hot inflow, like a huge sum of money come in,
Mm-hmm.
and they change it into domestic currency or local currency, they need to buy certain things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if they don't print more money, then I think they will affect the money supply.
Uh-huh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, because for me,
Uh-huh.
most of the policies is given by the government and the central bank just act.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the central bank is not totally independent.
Oh, in your country, the central bank is not independent, so it depends upon
It appears to be independent,
Uh-huh.
yeah, from the outsiders, but in actual sense, it is not independent. The government have its say.
Oh, so it depends upon the government's
Yes,
stance.
yes.
Oh, okay. So how will your government do? Will your government intervene the foreign exchange market?
Of course, because like you said, the domestic currency will appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So if it appreciates, for example, prices of things will start to decline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and actually it's difficult to explain.
Oh, okay. How about Vietnam?
I think that when there is an influx of investment into Vietnam, there will be, like Patrick said, there will be like a printing of money to satisfy that the need for more cash.
Uh-huh.
But there would be also a slightly rise on the interest rate,
Uh-huh.
because the exchange rate of of my country have a like control, semi-control. It's like the price of the currency can fluctuate, but to an extent.
Oh.
So there will be an immediate slightly rise of of the interest rate to outbid the money, the incoming supply, so that the price of money can be stable. And if the government wants to decrease the price, they will slightly lower the interest rate. It's just that the government want to have complete control over the price of my currency, so that they will try to offset the effect of the incoming.
Oh, okay. Also, what you told me is that, okay, so maybe there is a limit. Okay, there is a limit. If the domestic currency appreciate, okay, beyond the limit, then your government will intervene. Okay, suppose that's the case. Okay, then in order to keep the domestic currency from appreciating too much to beyond the limit, okay, then your central bank will intervene the foreign exchange market. So what the central bank will do is to conduct an open market purchase. Okay, but right now the central bank purchases the foreign dollar. Okay, maybe that's the US dollar denominated, okay, foreign assets. Okay, and the central bank conducts that. Okay, the central bank purchases USD denominated assets from the bank. Okay, so the central bank will find itself, okay, with more USD denominated assets. Let's say maybe 1 million. Okay, So the banking system will find itself with a 1 million deduction of the USD denominated assets. Okay, but if the central bank purchases US dollars denominated assets from the bank, actually the central bank injects reserves, okay, into the banking system by $1 million. Okay, so the central bank's reserves will also increase by $1 million. Okay, so in this case, the monetary base will increase by $1 million. Okay, by doing that, the monetary base increases by $1 million. And also, the central bank's money supply depends upon a money multiplier and monetary base. Okay, usually the money supplier is a value greater than 1. Okay, as monetary base increases by $1 million, okay, with a positive money multiplier, the money supply will also increase. Okay. Okay, so suppose that your government attempt to intervene the foreign exchange market. Okay, they attempt to keep the domestic currency from appreciating too much, okay, against the US dollars. Okay, then your central bank might conduct open market purchase. Okay, and what they purchase, okay, is the USD denominated assets, okay, from the bank. Okay, and then we'll have seen the reserves increase, okay, due to the open market purchase. Okay, so these are the factors that affect the monetary base. Open market purchases, open market sales, okay. Depositor shifts deposits into currency. Treasury shifts deposits from the commercial bank to the Fed. Discount loans, float, and foreign exchange market intervention. Okay, these factors will shift the monetary base. Okay, except float. Okay, float and depositors shifts the deposit into currency. These two actually leave the monetary base unchanged. However, the other four factors will change the monetary base. Questions? Okay, let's have a 10-minute break. In the next 50 minutes, okay, I would like to show you a movie just for 4 minutes. Okay, that's about The Big Short. Okay, and then from the movie, okay, we can understand the mortgage-backed securities and credit default swap. Okay, and how these two drive up the financial crisis. Okay, so let's take a 10-minute break.